Funerals. The thing that tends to cause the biggest family arguments. What we're trying to do is make sure that you've got written in your will what you wish to have done for your funeral, because if the family don't know, they won't have a clue where they're going. But more importantly, more and more people are looking to make sure that they have their own funerals organised, plans sorted, etc. If you don't have a will in place, how do you know that you've carried out the deceased's wishes? Funerals are doubling every 10 years, and talking to funeral directors across Scotland, they feel with the green issues they're now going to double every 5 years. Prepaid funeral plans have lots of advantages. If you go through one of the funeral planning companies, and I work with 3-4 of the biggest companies out there, you can assign it to a funeral director, but it doesn't specifically lodge with them financially. Because the problem is that if all of a sudden they might sell the business, they may go out of business. They may no longer be as good as they were, or the next generation doesn't succeed the way the previous one did. Or you may move areas. And the beauty of having a funeral plan is that can be moved and reassigned to another funeral director at any moment's notice without any problem. Funeral plans come in different forms. You can have insurance plans. The problem with an insurance plan is very often, because of the increased costs of funerals, it's not going to cover all the costs. You can go direct to a funeral director, as we suggested before, but if they're no longer fit for purpose, then you'd rather not be with them. So a funeral plan will deliver lots of things. It guarantees the price you pay, today's price, and that will be the price, plus possibly a few disbursements that I've discussed with you at the time, but otherwise all costs should be covered. I work with several providers, making sure that we always give the best possible tailor-made package for you. We deal with the big issues: cremation, burial. Smaller issues like, do you want flowers or donations? You can meet the funeral director if you wish to, that the plan's been assigned to, so they can take down some of the smaller details and discuss, do you want a bamboo coffin? Do you want a green funeral? Do you wish to have a coach and four? Etc. There are so many different things that can be done, and if you wish, that can all be done for you beforehand. Absolutely no problem at all. But it's personal experience of funeral plans. My parents lived in the West Midlands. They had funeral plans in place. I, living in Scotland, made a phone call when each of them died and carried on working for the following week, because everything was already organised. Nothing else to do, all the planning had been done, funeral director got on with the job. We went and the funeral happened, and it was an absolutely superb event. And the best bit, especially to please my parents, was the amount of money they saved. They'd made the funeral plans 10 years beforehand, and the money they had saved was dramatic, and that would have pleased my parents. The other big thing that my wife and I have said since we put ours in place is the fact that we're leaving no debts for the kids. If we can spend every penny that we own, we're not going to leave them any debt for the future. And that's important and great peace of mind. I highly recommend funeral plans.